it was very difficult because we had to really try to protect her as much as we could, and then on top of that you've got something we've never heard about before, and so that was just a whole other level of fear that I had personally, trying to protect my baby and then worrying about something very unknown. So it was kind of lonely, you know, experiencing something that we'd never been through before, and then also trying to make the best decisions to keep her safe. And I'm a nurse, and so on top of that, walking into the hospital was fear of going back to work when I, you know, needing to go to help provide for her, to give her the best life, but knowing like I could possibly, you know, bring something home. That was difficult. So.
Whenever she was born, she was 7 pounds right on the dot, which is not abnormal for a baby. My other daughter was 7 too, but she looked a little smaller. Kora didn't appear to have that little chunkiness to her. And then her stools were a lime green color. And in the back of my mind, I was fearing that there was something wrong, but I was just trying to hope and pray that everything was okay. And then I got the call at like 5, she was like 5 weeks old, and my heart just dropped, my stomach dropped. I just remember sitting there on my couch crying, and it was just a really difficult time because yes, I was on maternity leave, which already puts you away from friends and family, and then the diagnosis. I just remember being really, honestly, it was really depressing. It was really hard. I was sad, I cried, I don't know. I went into a really tough phase of life because life was about to change.
I think really, once we learned that, I have a buddy that I grew up with in Oklahoma, and his daughter was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and so of course that was one of my first reach outs to kind of understand the dynamic behind this. And then it became being able to try to support Emily the best I could, really not understanding our road, but just knowing that we were in it together. And so for me, watching her grow up and doing the things that we need to do to make her life better is kind of, I look at it as like a bonding for me to her. So I think that was one of those things.
Long before I got into pulmonary medicine, a compassionate bunch of physicians, nurses, and scientists started working on developing methods that would allow patients with cystic fibrosis to, as you mentioned, correct for the malabsorption they had, and discovered that using a lot of enzymes and a high protein and high calorie diet could help them overcome their starvation problem. And that was a very important part of treatment, but also there was the lung clearance part. And so with no real scientific backing per se, these physicians decided to collaborate and develop methods for clearing the mucus from the lungs so that they could decrease the burden of infection and maybe see progression of damage to the lungs load. And by sharing ideas about how best to clear the mucus from the lungs, they were able to show improved pulmonary toilet measures that allowed patients to clear their lungs, breathe more comfortably, have more active lives. And then we just kept adding on better ways to clear mucus, additional medications which can help get the mucus out of there so that we could preserve the lung function as much as we could.
So our morning routine, I remember thinking when she was a baby, I'm like, I cannot do this. This is a lot. And it's definitely gotten easier. Kora doesn't mind. Kora's good. She takes medicines very well. She's done her breathing treatment, so it's like a nebulizer, and then we used to do manual CPT, but now we do what we call shaky vest. So it's the vest, which is literally a vest she wears, and it's attached to tubes, and it is a machine that provides percussion with the nebulizer. So that's a 20-minute treatment twice a day. She takes vitamins in the morning. She takes pancreatic enzymes with all of her meals. She takes Trikafta in the morning, and then she also has recently started a prophylactic inhaler. So the morning routine, it takes at least about 30 minutes. So I have to wake her up just a little bit earlier than Savannah, but she really likes watching TV with the shaky vest or her tablet. So we do that, but it makes it a little easier. And then, but the medicines, she's fine. She just really has to eat with them, which can be a little bit of a trial sometimes because she's not quite hungry yet when she first gets up, but we've got it down now.
Hi, my name is Abigail Hoekstra, and I'm a child life specialist here at Cook Children's. Part of my job here as a child life specialist in the pulmonary clinic is working alongside patients with cystic fibrosis as well as their families. One of my biggest roles is helping normalize the hospital experience for patients. So what that looks like for me is spending a lot of one-on-one time with the kids, playing with them, helping desensitize some of the medical equipment. So I do that a lot just with toys that kids normally play with at home. I help them understand their diagnosis, help them understand what the flow of their clinic visit is going to look like each day. So it's really special for me to get to meet these families, especially a family like Emily and Kora, and get to help them through this journey. These appointments can be lengthy, and this is something that they're going to be dealing with the rest of their life. So it's important to me to help come alongside them and help them cope better with this experience.
So I did. I kept the diagnosis to myself. I just didn't feel like it was just very personal, and I just didn't want to share it. I just didn't for a long time. And so one of our first meetings with the CF clinic, we got to meet the clinical therapist, Rachel. I didn't even know I was going to need her help because I was like, I'm fine, like I'm doing good, like I'm fine. And then she came and talked to me one day, and she was like, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't take her up on that the first time or two, but I think maybe the third time I was like, okay, sure, I'll see what, I'll talk to her.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself and then what you do for families.
Hi, I'm Rachel Grimes, and I am the clinical therapist and licensed clinical social worker at the pulmonary clinic at Cook Children's. And I had the privilege of meeting Emily and Kora and the rest of their family on their very second visit here in the clinic. Kora was a teeny tiny little baby, and they had just gotten the diagnosis of cystic fibrosis. Emily is one of the awesome parents that took me up on my offer to do counseling for the parents, because we have an awesome grant from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation where we can offer free counseling to anyone who's touched by cystic fibrosis. So I'm so thankful that she was able to participate in that, and we spent a lot of time together just talking about how we can best take care of Kora and be the best mom and parents and sister for Kora. So that's basically what I do.
Honestly, the reason why I was a little bit more open about Kora's story is because I just felt a heavy desire to want to do something good like for the good of all people with CF, or just be a part of it, to be able to grasp it and do the best I can to help the situation. So, but Rachel definitely helped me get there. So I'd heard of the New York City Marathon that you can run for foundations, and then I found out that the CF Foundation has bibs in the marathon, so it was just on my heart that that's what I wanted to do, and I've always been a runner, so I thought, well, I could probably do that. So that's when I started kind of realizing, let me just open up to my family and let them know kind of where I'm at and what I want to do, and so everyone accepted me with grace.
It's a pleasure getting to work with families like Kora's family, just because they're helping advance the cure for CF, which is the goal of the CF Foundation. By participating in research studies, we're able to improve quality of life. And now that drug that she helped with that study, now that drug is approved down to 1 year old.
And so we're so thankful that they're willing and able to take part. It just kind of goes down to the humanity of it and the kindness of others to be able to take a part and willing and able to do that.
We've really appreciated the outpouring of support, and the fundraising component. Everybody that contributed has been amazing. So I don't even think we know the full list of people, but it's been very humbling to know that people have generous hearts and want to support a cause that is close to us. You know, I think that there's certain God-honoring things that are taking place here, and so as much as it is tough, we see the good in it.
If you look at where we were back in the early 60s, life expectancy was about 12 years.
Right, in childhood.
And now it's 63.
Yes.
So
Okay.
over time, obviously we've made a lot of progress, and that was through the work and collaboration of a lot of folks.
I mean, to do something that big, to run that marathon, what do you think?
Yes.
What would you like Kora to take away from that?
On a personal note, I just want her to know that every part of my body wants to give it all I have to give her the best. My other heart is just to give people hope. You know, life is so precious, and there's hope behind difficult times. I think that anytime you're faced with, you know, a difficult diagnosis or something that can seem like the worst thing in the world, there's hope to it and there's life. And I just want to be a part of that. I want to be able to, you know, help all the people with CF live the best life and know that they're loved and they're cared for, and there's a lot to look forward to. Thank you so much for donating or considering donating. You are changing so many lives, and I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And anyone that's considering donating, if you're able to, that would be amazing, and every penny goes towards being able to find a cure for cystic fibrosis.